heightened security. The marshal is himself here in the middle.
You can't do Foko. I don't know. You cannot also be you fine. We will do it, but we are not.
It's a lot of. The clerk is trying to organize the space. He's trying to put all the tables together to ensure that JPP MPC, they will not allow that. They're not going to allow that. It's a big confrontation. It's a big confrontation. The minority leader himself in the car. Well, a lot of violent scenes right here at the appointment committee with the clerk of parliament himself here trying to try and sort things out. The table there, as you can see, the table has been just lighted. The chairman himself on his head. Well, only been destroyed. Public property are being damaged there. Where with this confrontation in the middle of all of this, what should happen today, and you see the leader himself here. And insisting that this vetting should not happen, trying to have a conversation. And we are also trying to get a bite. There's a negotiation happening right in the middle of this vetting process. As to vet 5, they have vetted 5 persons, and they expect that this process will come to an end, and that they will not allow any more persons to be vetted. And there's a lot of confrontation. The majority leader now, as you can see him there in the middle of this situation, trying to very much get things under control, speaking to NPP MPs to try and calm tempers. Mama Aga says he wants things to happen. You can hear Frank Anodon pray, the minority chief.
It's not going to happen.
Not happen. It will not happen today, and that also
we compromised and did it. We agreed on 4. We have done 5. They should understand. What is this? Some of them we spend less than 30 minutes on them. We can't do proper vetting with this short time. They should understand this. Otherwise, it will not happen. It will not
the leader, and to try and have some conversation outside. Would have to be taken, watching members of parliament in a scaffold, dragging tables, and there's chaos. As you can see, a microphone just raised on the floor. That should not happen. The majority leader currently in dialogue in the middle. This will not happen. All this happening right in the middle of all this. Austin Game trying to calm things, and fight. This is pushing, holding each other's clothes as we speak, and their leaders are trying to separate them, and none of them will allow this to happen, and this to happen, this to happen, and this to happen, and they've been separated as we speak. But this is chaos. This is a lot of very not so nice scenes as the marshal at the appointment committee were really not so much good scenes. The ninth parliament is starting on not so good scenes so far. A lot of policemen walking in. Our policemen are walking in. A lot of policemen from the Parliamentary Protection Unit have now walked in, and they are trying to ensure that there is order and there is calm here ultimately for this process to happen. But this table has become the center of attraction with MPs pulling and pushing with a lot of confrontation. Please pick it. Yeah. This is chaos. Well, as you can see, I mean, the SMP says they will not allow these tables to be, the tables are literally being pushed and pushed. Where the NSMP is trying to rearrange the tables, the MPP MPs are not allowing this to happen. And these are really terrible scenes as we are seeing in Parliament with honorable members right at each other's throats, fighting and pushing and pulling tables, saying that this vetting will not happen, that the pushing and pulling is ongoing. This is chaos. This is chaos right here in Parliament. These are reminiscent of some of the scenes we saw when the Speaker of Parliament was elected in the 8th agreement in terms of what exactly they have to do. And as after they showed, they say that this will not happen. The vetting process, they will not allow this to happen, and they will push and pull and calm things, but it's chaotic. It's really chaotic with all the things that are happening here. Well, it's chaos. The table have been turned. It's chaos, it's chaos, it's chaos, it's chaos. The table have turned. More microphones are falling to the ground and things are being destroyed. The table has broken. The table happened with all that is happening, with public property being destroyed and all that is being happening. There's a certain understanding that perhaps this will have to be resolved in another way, and it is clear that this vetting cannot happen with what we are seeing. This chaos. This is chaos. I'm not sure that this is what a lot of members of Parliament envision or envisage, that coming here today, this is what is going to happen, with tables being broken, with a lot of issues still unresolved.
I believe we have all watched to where the distraction occurred. Can we now have the witnesses? Mr. George Glory Opeku. After him, we'll have Honorable Collins Dowda. Remind him of the oath that he took. Mr. George, you took the oath last Thursday, right?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Sorry, Friday. And you are reminded the oath that you took on Friday.
Thank you.
Being a stranger in Parliament on that day, today you are not a stranger because you've been invited officially to give an account of what happened. But on that fateful day, we assume, I want to repeat myself again as you watch the video. Why were you here on the 30th of January 2025?
My counsel want to come in.
Unfortunately, your counsel did not take an oath. And so your counsel can whisper or advise you.
You are to provide the answers.
Okay, so, counsel.
Mr. Chairman, with your permission, we wish to raise an objection to the evidence that was elicited from our client on Friday. The basis for this objection is that contrary to the standing orders of Parliament, he was not advised of his right to counsel before evidence was taken from him. And the evidence which was taken from him was not just bordering on matters of fact, but it was bordering on matters of law. Including his knowledge of the standing orders of Parliament. Evidence on record would be too prejudicial to his interest, and we respectfully ask that the evidence that has already been admitted be expunged from the record.
Okay, the committee says that we'll start afresh. We'll expunge this Friday's statement from our record. On that note, it means that we'll start afresh. So, can you take the oath now, if you don't mind? Yeah.
I, Judge Glory Opeku,
swear by the
committee
touching the matter in issue
touching the matter in issue
shall be the truth,
shall be the truth,
the whole truth,
and
nothing but the truth.
and nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
You have watched the video.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Can you tell us why?
I was here as a citizen to witness a process.
You were here as a citizen to witness a vetting of ministers that were nominated by His Excellency the President. Is that correct? You were not invited by any of the nominees.
No, Mr. Chairman.
Were you cleared by our security officers for you to enter the vetting room?
Duly so, sir, Mr. Chairman.
He was declared. Okay, the question again. Were you cleared by security officers, other than marshal or the police, to enter the vetting room? Yes or no?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Follow-up question. What was the nature of what did the security do?
They asked, where are you going? I even asked them, where's the vetting room? They directed me to the room here, without asking any question. I even asked them, where's the floor, where's the room they are vetting the nominee? And they directed me here.
And that was all the security clearance. That was what they
Exactly
asked.
so.
So you got down here, or you got down at the car park, down, and then you walked up.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Find out where the security base was. It at the gate there or just at the entrance of these premises?
And then I met two policemen here. I asked them, is that the place they are vetting the nominee, or the vetting is going on? They said yes. They asked me to enter.
Did you pass through job 600 or just this entrance?
Where is job 600?
We have our offices. That tall security down there to check you. I want to find out where exactly.
The complex. And I request, where is the vetting room? They direct me, yes, and they allowed me in.
When the vetting is taking place, you have two entrances.
Very well.
Okay. Yeah.
Mr. George Glory Opeku. The standing orders of Parliament. Orders, page 9. And I want to read. Stranger. The Vice President, the Speaker, the Chief Justice, a minister, permitted by the or an officer of Parliament. So I want to ask you once again, or any other person, to enter into the chamber. The chamber here means the vetting room.
No, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. George. Opeku. Order 2. 157, page 288. A stranger shall not be admitted into the house without authority of the Speaker. Which may be exercised through the clerk. Were you given an authority by the Speaker through the clerk, or in this instance, the chairman of the appointment committee to come to the house?
No, Mr. Chairman, but this does not apply to the sitting of the appointment committee. Yeah, you checked it. There's nothing. And my lawyer is happy to explain further.
What is the name?
George.
George. Mr. Glory, do you know that a committee of parliament is parliament? Do you know that a committee of parliament is parliament? Do you know that, or you don't?
It depends on the context.
So I will read again Order 288. A member shall not admit a stranger into any part of the house reserved for members while Parliament is sitting.
Are you clear on that?
Order 2882.
Chairman.
Mr. Gloria, it will do you a lot of good if you don't engage in a debate. Just answer the questions honestly, as much as you can. Because a committee of parliament is parliament. It's defined in our standing orders. So you don't know. Say you don't know.
I don't know, Mr. Chairman.
And so, I can understand your confusion. And I want to explain to you. The main chamber, we have got public gallery. So when the public, they come in, they go and sit in the public gallery. And so the chamber is where the MPs where they debate. And so when you come to the... And so if you came in, whatever means you used to come in, you should have gone to the public gallery and not come to where the members are. And so where you came to, this door entering here, you were in Parliament. Do you agree now? So to assist you, stranger into any part of the house reserved for members while Parliament is sitting. So any part of the house reserved for members, and this is part of the house, and this part is reserved for members. And so
My council want to come over.
you want your council to offer.
Honorable members, we take the view that the standing orders of Parliament distinguish between admission of a stranger into committees and admission of the stranger into the House. For example, Order 2 is very clear, whilst 288 deals explicitly with admission of strangers into the House. There are specific provisions on the standing orders, particularly Order N 271, which deals specifically with the committees. And that's why we've taken the view that a committee is not part of Parliament. But in the instance where the rules have in hearing, such as the appointment committee hearing, it would be those provisions that apply.
Council, we just want the witness to understand. We are laying the ground rules for him to understand. If you go this tangent, it looks like we'll have to educate you more. When we talk about proceedings of the committee shall be held in private, that's what we are doing now. But where the members of Parliament sit is totally different from where the gallery is. That is why when all of them, I mean those who are out there, are not sitting here. This is the sitting of the committee of Parliament. Yes, it is public, but we have clearly this designated sitting area for members of Parliament, and that's what we want to establish.
Mr. Chairman, we agree with you on that point. The issue we are raising is that the conditions for admission into a committee is different from the conditions for admission into the House. The committee referred to the conditions precedent for admission into the House, which was on the prior approval committee hearing. But for public sittings, there is a presumption under Order 266 that it is public. So we are not dealing with the attendance issue at this point, the position within the space. But on the right to
Case applies to even here. People were invited, and they said 10. Some even went beyond the 10. All because the rule states that before you enter any part of the house, you should have an instructional authority from the speaker.
Mr. Chairman, we agree, but that was dealing with the House and not any part of Parliament. with respect, the House, even under Order 55, is.
So,
We are not denying that the committee can decide to hold private sessions where no one can come without permission. The rules are clear. On that, we are not denying that the chairman, that when the committee is holding a public hearing, the public does not need further authorization to come to the hearing.
Respectfully, counsel, put it. I don't think you are right. Say that you are going to suggest that all Ghanaians are invited to the hearing. That is not the intent. The intent is that it is not going to be limited to only members of Parliament. That is what it means by public hearing. Public hearing means that other members of the public will participate in that hearing, but that will be on invitation. And so if you have received an invitation, then you will not be considered as a stranger. And so that is the point that we are trying to establish.
That it's a public hearing. The courts, for example, the Supreme Court is open to the public. It doesn't mean every Ghanaian citizen will fit into the court. That's not what we are saying. But we are saying that we do not need any authorization to present yourself to say, I want to come and observe proceedings in the Supreme Court. That is where the rules specifically require authorization from the chairman before you enter. The rule only limits it to private sittings. And if you permit me, that a person who is not a member of a committee may attend in-camera meetings of the committee, subject to that's the submission we are making. And we are making this submission only because it has been suggested that he could not have presented himself for admission to the committee without an invitation. That is a separate question. That's a separate.
I think that you are not appreciating the standing orders of Parliament. This House is governed by rules. It's governed by standing orders, and so the standing orders have provided for who is a stranger. And I'm saying that, or we are saying that as a committee, that this person was not invited. And by that fact, he came in here as a stranger. He was not invited. He has admitted it. And further, the point is being made that even though he managed to get himself into the presence of Parliament, he was only entitled to stay at the public gallery and not where he came to. That's the point that we are making.
It's with members of Parliament, in respect of members of Parliament. If committee sits, excuse me.
I'm just clarifying which order.
This one, order 2677. A person who is not a member of a committee may attend in-camera meetings of the committee subject to the approval of the committee. And in that situations from outside. So that is
Parliament is 2676. which says a member who is not a member of the committee. For such members, they do not need prior approval. Under 2676, they may take part in the proceedings of the committee automatically unless the House or the committee concerned determines otherwise. However, so the other situation is any other person who is not a member of Parliament, and we are saying that he fits that category, and in that case, he would require the prior approval. And on the last point about who are proceedings, the definition of stranger only limits it to a class of persons. And that's the submission that we are making. And if you fall within the class of persons described as a stranger, then you have to use the specific rules on how a stranger should be admitted. That is all we are saying. And when it's a public hearing, a stranger doesn't need prior approval. When it's in camera, the stranger then needs the prior approval of the committee. That's the only submission we are making at this stage. There are rules for the removal of a stranger from the committee.
We perfectly agree with you. Our question, simply put, is that if you are not a member of Parliament, there are places designated for members of Parliament either to sit during the committee meetings, because committees are open to the public, and whether he agrees that he has violated that rule.
Mr. Chairman, I do agree that during a committee hearing like this, no one can just come and, for example, sit at the table. I agree with that point.
Thank you very much. That's all we are looking for. We don't want any long argument.
No, I only had to raise that point because of the premise to some of the questions.
We are here to, it's a fact-finding committee.
Very well, very well.
Now, honorables, you see, you make me say honorable. Mr. George Opeku Glory, can you tell us on that fateful day what you were doing here in this committee room?
Mr. Chairman, I was here to witness the vetting of a nominee by the GM.
You were here to witness the vetting of.
I was particularly interested in Sam George and Okujetua Blackwas nomination vetting.
Did you get any invitation from Honorable Sam George?
No formal invitation from them.
So you came as, do you,
Wose wo ne wo ex-boyfriend any ho. So from video caller. I was over.
Auntie na so me hu.
Me picking na video dey wo page ya wo say papa so for dem. Also dem.
Me hu say o dem na me kire ne say me dwarin, so ma me dwarin we no say o. Me friends so no ka asema na akire.
Ex-boyfriend surface wo no hwe nakedness. Oka dia asem ko ana obeka ebetimi asesa wadwen free UK burger na won ne te ho no. Se mo gya ya mpampa na wafra wo adwaye